But this morning we're talking about energy. Now, many people believe that Ghana, as Bobby said much earlier, we have sunshine 24/7. Not really as in 24/7 as in day and night, but I mean most of the day there is a lot of sun. What do we do with the sun? We let it go waste. Now, Teddy Opoku is an engineer, and we're going to look at how we can use solar to power a lot of other alternative things rather than the heavy duties. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks
sir.
so much for coming to the studio.
Thank you.
When we talk about solar energy, what exactly do we mean by solar powered energy?
Solar energy is simply the way of producing energy or generating energy by the use of what you call the solar panels or the solar modules or the solar arrays.
Right.
So you're generating energy using the solar panels or the solar arrays or the solar modules.
Okay, so who manufactures this solar panel? Can I just put anything under the sun and it's going to serve as a solar panel? What exactly is it?
It's actually made up of silicon. We call it the pterygium silicon. And it's actually arranged in such a way that it's able to harness the energy from the sun so that it can be stored in what we call the deep cycle batteries.
Right.
Basically, with solar energy, there are a lot of fuss about people here in Ghana doing solar energy, and there are complaints. But what basically people are using are what we call the car batteries.
Oh, car batteries.
Car batteries.
Okay.
We've got deep cycle batteries that are used specifically for renewable energy technologies.
Okay.
We don't use car batteries for that.
Okay.
So for a period of 2 months, you realize that your system goes down, but because you didn't resort to the right people to do the installation for you.
Okay, because this is at the background that many people are complaining that, okay, we set up the solar as everybody is saying that we should do. We set it up in, like you're saying, in 2 months, 3 months, then everything just flops.
Yeah.
So there are particular batteries that people ought to use.
Yeah, there are particular batteries, there are particular inverters. The point of solar energy is to reduce cost.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
So we have what we call the hybrid inverter. Now, the hybrid inverter has got 3 sources of power delivered to your loads.
Okay.
Now, the 3 sources of power we're talking about is that we're talking about the solar panels, we're talking about the deep cycle batteries, and we are talking about the utility. So all these 3 power sources are actually tied to what we call a hybrid inverter.
Okay.
And that hybrid inverter, what it does for you is that it produces, it sort of changes the DC form to an AC form, because you realize that all the things we're using here are all AC.
Okay.
So it's from DC to AC. That's the work of the hybrid inverter. Now you set priorities to these, sources of power.
Right.
Now the priority first is you set solar, that when you have solar or when you have sunshine, what should do, the powering of your loads should be solar.
Right.
Now when you set that priority, what happens is that it cuts off the utility. So from sunrise to sunset, you realize that your loads are being powered by solar.
Okay.
At that point in time, you realize that the utility is not set in to actually deliver the loads.
Right, okay.
So eventually, no bills will be charged for that. Now, the next priority is that you set the storage. That is the deep cycle batteries,
right, okay.
or the flooded batteries, depending on the kind of batteries you're using.
Okay.
And as I said, they are for renewable energy technology, systems, not for car systems.
So don't use car batteries as substitutes for the deep,
deep cycle
batteries. So please, if anybody's installing anything for you and they are lying to you that, oh, we can just go and buy any car battery and use, that is a big lie.
A big lie.
That is why you people are suffering. Now, is it very easy to fix or connect or get power supply from solar in our homes?
Very possible.
How
very,
easy,
very possible.
how cheap?
How cheap?
Yeah.
No, as I said, it pays off eventually. So imagine that you invest, let's say, 10,000 Ghana cedis into solar. You are required, from our research, you're required to reduce your bill by 50% at the end of the month.
Right.
So if you're to accumulate that reduction over a period of time, you break even.
Okay.
And the panels actually last for 25 years.
Oh, the panels last for 25
years. The batteries, some batteries last for 5 years, others 15 years. That's when you replace them.
Okay, so you can replace the battery. What about the inverters? Do you replace them as well?
Basically, you don't replace the inverters because they can be repaired.
Okay.
When they go faulty.
Okay.
So eventually, trying to relate or compare the solar system to the generators, I would actually go in for the solar.
Right.
Than a generator.
Is it ideal for just any person? Can industries use it? Can commercial entities like a television station that uses high-powered lights like this?
It's possible. The point is that I would want to recommend what we call the grid-tie connection. That is when we have the net meter. I think the Energy Commission, they are doing pilot projects with that.
Right.
That is when you have the solar panels on your rooftop. It's actually mounted on a rooftop or ground mounted. And what happens is that the energy you generate, if it's in excess, it actually passes through what we call a bi-directional meter to reverse your meter for you.
Oh,
so eventually your bills are reduced.
Really?
Yep.
That's okay. So let me just get a bit practical. So like you have a 2-bedroom house, a 3-bedroom house. Let's say, for example, an average of 10 to 15 lights. You have a fan, TV set, fridge, and something. Yeah. How much would you spend? Like, just give us a range.
Okay, I would want to, separate the things, segregate the things.
Okay, right.
You can't tie everything up to the system, to the central system. So what we do is that we try to separate the lighting system from the air conditioners.
Okay.
Now we have what we call the solar fridge. I don't know whether you heard about that.
No, I have not.
So what happens is that the solar fridge is actually relying on the panels to produce, to generate, to work. Or better still, we can even change that fridge of yours to a solar fridge by just changing the AC compressor to a DC compressor.
Wow.
And that's simple. So your fridge can actually run on solar 24/7.
And freeze and chill everything that you put inside.
Everything.
Okay, so let's focus on the lights. So if for example, I want to set up a solar panel or solar system for my lights, what do I do?
We need to know the wattage of the lights.
Okay.
I don't know whether you heard about the LEDs.
The LEDs, the new ones.
Yeah, the new ones. So you can actually convert most of your CFLs to LEDs, and that will bring the wattage down.
Okay.
So we would actually come around to your place, your facility, to see the number of things you're using, and we'll calculate everything together.
Okay.
To know the type of the size of the inverter we're giving you.
All right. Okay. So let's say on the average basic. So let's say 10 lights, 10 LED lights.
10
because
LED
lights is the most important thing.
We're looking at around 2,000 Ghana cedis. As cheap as that, with LED lights.
So you see?
And it pays off.
Yes.
That's the point.
So with 2,000 Ghana cedis, you can have lights when the lights go off by relying on sunshine. You get me? Look, many people are making fetish out of this solar thing, say it's 30,000, 50,000. Those are the high grade ones. For example, if you want to use it for a banking institution or an industry and all that. It is not too expensive. Speak to the professionals and get the right advice. Well, thank you so very much. Thank you. So, you're based in Kumasi, right?
We are actually opening an office in Accra.
In Accra, right.
At East Legon on the stretch of ANC Mall before Starbite, Kappa House. That's where our office is.
Okay. Okay.
And in Kumasi, we're actually at South Centreso Office Complex L6.
Okay.
And that's where we are.
That's good. That's good. And well, this is a professional. So if you want to set up any thing that is related to solar in your offices, your homes, or anywhere else, make sure you get in touch with them.